Morning. So today we're going to talk about pre-emergence, and we're going to talk about using pre-emergence, when you can use them in the wintertime, and how they work. That's really important to understand that because that'll help you understand when you need to have them down. So hold on one sec. Hey guys, don't forget we cover a lot of this inside the Bermuda Lawn Guide. If you're watching on your TV, you can, with your phone, shoot this QR code and it'll actually take you to the Bermuda Lawn Guide, and we will have the 2022 Bermuda Lawn Guide and the Zoysia Lawn Guide out sometime probably in January. I'll send out an email saying it's available. So also, if you're not on our email list, make sure you get on the email list. It's on the website in the description down below. That's where I link to everything, products, email list, everything, and the Bermuda Lawn Guide. Understanding how pre-emergent works. First, let's understand that. You spray pre-emergent and then you immediately wet it into the soil. You want that pre-emergent in the first, let's say, 1/4 inch to 1.5 inches of the soil, because that's where the seeds exist. If you have weed seeds, they're going to be in the upper layer. It's not something that you want sitting on your grass. You actually want it in the soil. How does it work? A lot of people think that pre-emergent stops seeds from germinating, and that's not the case. What it does is it stops new cell development or cell growth. So you want your seed to germinate. A lot of people don't understand that. We want the seed to germinate, but what we want is as soon as that root starts to grow, we want it to stop growing. And if a plant can't grow roots, what happens? It dies and it stops growing. That's how pre-emergent works. So that's why the average lawn, you put out some pre-emergent in the late fall, and that should cover you through the winter time. And then late winter, early spring, we put it down again about the time that the crabgrass and all those other annoying weeds start to develop. Now, in the Bermuda Lawn Guide, I talk about our split program, because what I like to do is I put down my granular about a week or two before everyone tells you to do it. So it's there. Why not? In case you get a warm front move in. And then about 2 or 3 weeks after, about 2 weeks after that, I like to come out with a light coat of a liquid and put a secondary liquid in case I missed any. Now, I do that and I don't have to put anything else negative on my lawn. So I don't have to use any weed killers. I don't have to do anything. That's why I like to do that program. So if you don't have, it's the winter time, if you are seeing some weeds pop up, even if you put down some pre-emergent in the fall, if you're starting to see some weeds pop up, yeah, you can put down more pre-emergent. But let's talk about new seed and new sod for a minute. The rule of thumb is you don't put pre-emergent down on new sod for a full year. Why? Because of the way pre-emergent works. If it stops new cell development, if it stops roots from growing, and you have new sod down, guess what's going to happen? The new sod roots are going to stop growing, and it won't take during that period of effectiveness. So there is a time that we can do it. And when is that? It's during the period where the roots are going to be inactive or dormant. The whole plant is going to be dormant. So that's the window, the really cold window. It varies based on where you are. So I'm in Georgia, at our home in Northeast Georgia, right about now. I would say about December and January is if you have new sod, put out a light coat of pre-emergent, and that'll stop a lot of your winter weeds. The problem I've got is this beach house is further down south. Now, I'm in t-shirt and shorts today. It's got to be 73 degrees and sunny. The zoysia lawn out front has just started to go a little bit dormant, but this perennial rye back here is growing like crazy. So you really have to understand there is a window for winter pre-emergent for new sod and new seed, but it's very limited. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to give you a pre-emergent quiz. I'm going to let you decide when I should put out pre-emergent on 3 different types of lawns. First, let's start with this perennial rye. This perennial rye was planted about a month ago. It's established. It's got roots. It's growing really well. Could I put pre-emergent down? Yes, because I don't necessarily consider this a permanent lawn. So if I wanted to put down pre-emergent to prevent any weeds, I could. I don't really care if the roots stop growing because this is quote unquote a temporary lawn. So if you have a ryegrass that has been established and has roots, yes, you can apply it. Now, let's go look at the zoysia lawn, and you tell me if I should put pre-emergent. Ooh, man, this sun is bright out here. So I'm going to take you out here, and I'm going to shade out a little section so you can really see the grass and evaluate it. But let's take a look in the shade here. Let me shade a spot out for you. Okay, so here's my question. Should I apply pre-emergent to this? Now, this is a newly seeded zoysia lawn, but look at it. It's all green. Even though it's not growing, it's not dormant. I probably still have some root growth going on here, so I need to wait until I get some really, really cold temperatures moving in here before I apply it on this new zoysia. One way you can tell we haven't had any real hard frosts is look at the zinnias. The zinnias, for the most part, not that plant, but for the most part, the zinnias are still alive. They haven't been hit by frost. So my zinnias normally would be dead because they would have been frosted out. But look at all the butterflies. So I haven't had that hard, cold weather come in here. And you can see, look at this. Look at this green grass. I don't want to put pre-emergent on this because this is a new lawn and I still have root growth. So let's talk about lawn number 3. Now, lawn number 3 is at the house back in Northeast Georgia, where those lawns are completely brown. They're technically dormant. We have colder temperatures. We have nights in the 30s and we have days in the 50s. The lawn is pretty much dormant. So if I had new sawn, I might wait a week or two when the really, really cold temperatures, because if you're in the southeast, you know, the real cold temperatures have a tendency to move in January and February. January is your time. That's the time you can put it. You really want to wait until you're completely dormant. Then you can put out a light coat of pre-emergent. So what are the 2 pre-emergents I like to use in the wintertime? On a normal lawn or a larger lawn, I like to use the Barricade. I'll link to the Barricade below. This is a granular. It's easy to put out. Just follow the instructions on the bag. This is a really good distribution because it's a DG particle. It's super fine and it lasts a long time. The other one is kind of the generic prodiamine. Now this is a WDG, which is wet dispersible granule. That you actually mix into a liquid. It's a little bit harder to put out because you have to measure it out by the ounce. And then you have to make sure that you're putting out in a spray tank, make sure that you're putting out the right amount. That's why this is an easier product to put out than it is the spray. But I think on this new lawn, probably around January 1st, I'm going to come out because I'm going to do such a light treatment on this new lawn. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with the liquid here. At home, I use the granular. I much prefer the granular. But I think because I have that down here, I'll put out such a light coat, I'm going to go out with the liquid this winter on. So real quickly, let's talk about things that we should be thinking about in the wintertime. And of course, it's going to vary based on where you are and what type of lawn you have. I just realized I'm out of green shocker because I've been using mainly green shocker on this perennial lot. Right. Now, green shocker is a real mild. It's an instant release granular that goes to work as soon as you put it down. It's a fantastic. Now we're going to be using green shocker in the spring as part of our Jumpstart program. So green shocker, if you haven't heard about it, I've been talking about it. It instantly releases, goes right into your soil and starts feeding. It's a 712. It's an excellent product. So I just went in and just ordered some more green shocker for back here. Humichar. On all my lawns, I'm putting down Humichar treatments all winter long. The other thing I'm doing is if you haven't gotten a soil test, get a soil test right now. Because what I'm doing on the front is I am putting down lime. My pH was a 4.9 when we started that project, and I've gotten it up to about a 5.4, and I want to keep it going. So yesterday I went out and put more lime on the front, and I need to put some more on the back, so I got to get some more lime. Wintertime, great time to adjust your pH. When your lawn, you're treating your soil, you're not treating your lawn. Same thing, Humichar treats the soil. We're pumping carbon into it so that in the springtime, when we start to put all down that good stuff, it's going to have a bunch of carbon inside of it. So that's pretty much it. That's all I'm doing on the wintertime is I'm putting carbon, I'm adjusting my pH, and if I have a growing grass right now, I'm going to put down either something like a PGF Complete or a green shocker or something like that. But green shocker has done a fantastic job on this grass right here. It's beautiful. So I'm actually going to go get my cheap COVID mower out, and I'm going to cut this with the COVID mower. Whew, okay, so that's cut. Here's what's interesting. So I came out earlier. I have some pea spots out here, and I actually had some extra seed. So I went out here with a fork, a large fork, dug it up, put seed down, patted it down. And when you don't have a creeping grass like a Bermuda or zoysia, that's how you fix these lawn spots. Otherwise, I would use the lawn pea spot spray. But did you hear that mower? It sounded like it threw a rod or something. So I stopped and checked the oil in it, and clack, 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 clack. I don't know what it is. That's that cheap COVID mower we bought last year for like $150. But I can't. The oil was fine. It just started doing it. It's not like the blade hit anything, so maybe I have to check the blade on it, but it's a bowl and man, it just sounds like it threw a rod. So I actually just went online, and I told you in my last video that this is a great time of the year. If you need power equipment, December is the best time to order power equipment. Real mowers, whatever you want. So I have a McLean 25 GR series. That's what I ordered for this house. So I have that, and I'm cutting the lawn with that, and it does an absolutely perfect job. However, out back, I've got all those rocks and shells. There's no way I'm taking that out back, so I need a rotary. But I also want a decent rotary mower that will cut down to 3/4 of an inch for when I go to scalp this yard, because I don't have any way to really scalp down here without messing up this thing, you know, hitting a rock or shell or something. So I went online and I just ordered a new Honda. I'll show it to you. I'll test it out, see how I like it. Now that stuff's starting to get back in stock finally. That's about it. Hope the video helped. I'll talk to you later. Doc.